All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in for yet another artist talk from the In the City fellows from Harvard's Commonwealth Project in the exhibition that we now have on view online via the Griot Museum, which is the Memories of Black Presence. These six artists have just blown all of us away with not just their talent, but the stories, the heart, the spirit behind each one of their works. And I'm so excited for tonight's conversation because we really get to dive deep behind the scenes with the people in the photograph. And so tonight's conversation is with Tiffany Sutton, one of the In the City artists, but not just Tiffany. Tiffany has also invited her mother, Miss Vera, to join in conversation as they discuss the photographs that are in the exhibition because Miss Vera is truly the muse, the star, the anchor of this work. And I'm super excited to learn even more about your stories, how family plays a big role, how health shows up in the works, and the spirit behind some of the images and the lightheartedness of it all. And so, with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Tiffany and Miss Vera to start in conversation. Hello, friends. Hello.
Mom. Hi.
Hi.
Low key, D, thank you for calling my mom Miss Vera instead of just Vera. Like it's
Southern.
sweet when my friends call her Vera. Now I know you don't mind, but it drives me crazy because when I talk to, and I'll tell you one thing, it's mostly white friends. Say do with that what you will. But I mean, that's just, do you mind it when they say, because they're all like, hey Vera, what's going on? No, not really. Oh, okay. No. Only I apparently have a problem with that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about why you came back to St. Louis with me and Dad?
Well, we came to start a business, a financial services business, and we did pretty well for quite a while before he got sick. And I guess we could have gone somewhere else, but I had all of my family is here. I have a ton of relatives, and they were really a big help in helping us to get started in our business. And I was just thinking about how many pictures I used to take.
Mm-hmm.
I just never really thought about that until just now. Really, I mean, I have tons of pictures, and which you now have.
Yeah, I stole all her pictures. So it's okay. I've got photo albums, 1,000 pictures deep. I don't even know. So many pictures of just her taking pictures of me as a little kid.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it turned out that now I take a ton of pictures of her. So she's just like constantly in my, we're in each other's photos. And now that I think about it, isn't it Shabazz who also takes like photographs from his mom?
Yeah,
Also
from his grandmother's collection.
grandmother's
But
collection,
I
yeah.
think at large, like finding like family photos from different family members, but his
Mhm.
focus is on his grandmother.
Yeah, which is kind of cool like that too, because you just have, she's been the photo taker in our family too. Like she doesn't, like she puts them in albums and in frames, whereas her sisters just like put them in a box and they'll be like, oh, we'll get to this later.
That's cat.
She's calling out names. Okay, well there you go. It's a
Put him
cat.
on blast, Miss
She's
Vera.
putting them on. Okay, that's fine. Anyways, she kind of, she does that. I mean, even I don't put them in folders or albums. I mean, and I've been trying to do that with the snapshots that I take and the Polaroids that I take here and there. Wait, do you like it when I take pictures of you?
No.
Why is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't like having my picture taken for some unknown reason. I just don't. I don't know. I just feel uncomfortable.
Does she look uncomfortable? This is a question from the audience. Does my mom look uncomfortable in these photos?
I thought that you look so dynamic personally, especially the one with the mask. Like that's my favorite. I almost made that my background for tonight. Actually,
What
I
was
am
that?
gonna make it my
Can you
background.
show her? She's
Do you
oh, it's
see
that
it?
one.
Oh.
Yes. It's like you really capture like the spirit of your mother. Because so often with photographs, especially a family, like they are candid. You're capturing them in the moment, or
Mm-hmm.
it's on the other end of the spectrum where everyone's posed and like the
Mm-hmm.
glamour shots together, like the official family photo. And
Right,
it's just
right.
it's so powerful to see these moments where you can tell that you asked your mom to like stop what she was doing, but she's still holding that broom. It's like she's still in the moment at the same time.
I used to be really into masks. I think there's a photographer I was big into in early years of college. His name is Ralph Eugene Meetyard, and he was an eye doctor, obstetrician or something.
Optometrist.
Optometrist. I'm thinking of someone else, something else. Anyways, he was an optometrist, whatever. He was an eye doctor, and he took photos, and a lot of his photos were off of this woman in his family. I think it was his grandmother, or maybe his mother. I can't remember. And he would make her wear masks, and the mask was based on a story loosely written by Flannery O'Connor. So he took this kind of Southern horror um, white artist, woman artist, and made visuals of it in his mind. And it turned out really cool. So every Halloween, I would scour, Walgreens or Walmart, or later on, it became Johnny Brock's for masks that I can make people wear.
Hmm.
Usually it's a bandit mask, kind of like a Robin from Batman and Robin mask.
Yeah.
I found this mask. I can't tell you where I found it, but it was so bizarre. So I was just like, here, wear this.
I don't even remember you making me put that on.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. We have a photo of it, and I couldn't tell you what happened. All I think what's happened was put this on, and she'll go, okay. and then and then I'll go, hold on. Then she'll like, I pretty much think she was gonna put down the broom, and I was like, no, the broom makes it. And then she held the broom, and that's how it came about. Can you show one for me? It's the one that's blurry. We're like really trying to um I don't know if
Let's
it's on the
see.
website.
Yeah, I can do a screen share of the website.
Oh yeah,
Can you
thank
see
you.
it now?
Almost. Oh, there we go. Um, trying to see which one it is, but I was trying to take a self-portrait
Was it this one?
with my mom. That's the one. And it just didn't work.
Oh, is that you?
Yes.
Oh, that's so
Who
cute.
else would it be? I'm your only daughter. Oh my goodness. It's just like her. And we're trying to take this really fun picture. And at first, it's a mistake, right? Like it's a horrible, horrible, bad picture, technical wise, but I really like the feeling of it. What do you think about this? Why do you like this one?
I do.
Why do you like it?
It's very intimate, precious. It is my little girl.
Precious, that's it.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't
the intimacy and preciousness of it like reminds me in my head at least as a viewer like this is a family moment. This is an intimate moment. It's not perfect because family's not perfect.
mhm.
Sometimes things are blurry. Sometimes the moment is still captured even if it's not like picture perfect.
Yeah. It's it's the same. It's I feel the same way about it. I know to me it really does bother me, and then until I started thinking more outside of the box, a little bit more abstractly about the meaning of the photo and how they fit with the series that I sent you, to showcase. And I for sure thought everyone would be like, Tiffany doesn't know how to photograph. What is she doing? But I've had a really good response from it. So that's my dad. He was a diabetic. He's since passed. And I see them as two people who are very much in love, but I want my mom to tell us how she met him, because it's a funny story.
Oh, man.
Please, you have to, it's great.
Okay, well, this was in Chicago. This was back in the 70s. And he was an auditor for Pillsbury, I think.
Mhm.
Pillsbury Company. And he lived in Minnesota. So single guys. So you know how a lot of single guys when they travel, they think they can get over and whatnot. And so anyway, he asked to take me to lunch, and we went to lunch, and he was there for a week, and we went out to dinner and stuff like that. It's really funny. After he left, I called my mother and I said, Mom, I met the man that I'm going to marry. And
Wow.
we became engaged within the year and then married. And we were together 30 years before he passed away. He was
Wow.
married, he was engaged and married before he knew what hit him. And all the guys that work for the company, they would travel different places, and every last one of them got married to somebody they met while they went to whatever city. It was just really this one particular couple. His name was Tommy. I think his name was Tommy, and he married a girl that I think they had known each other for a week. She
Wow.
planned a wedding, married him, and came back to Minnesota.
You don't see that these days. My
No,
gosh.
no.
Wow.
Whatever, you totally do. That's 90 Day Fiance. That's just the bad part,
That's
like these are
best.
the happy endings, these were the happy moments. The 90 Day Fiance is when it's like a terror attack or something.
Yeah.
But
What
yeah,
what was it about him that made you certain, that made you go, this is my husband?
Well, I am a firm believer, and I've said this many, many times, that the universe will send you what you need or what you want. And that's just another name for God, I guess, because I just felt that's who, he sent him to me. And I tell my daughter that all the time. I said, the universe is going to send you what you want. You just have to be ready, be in the moment. And don't worry about it. Because my girlfriend and I, we used to go out almost every night. And we got to the point to where I said, I am not going anywhere else. I'm just going to stay at home. You know how you're going, you want to meet somebody, have fun and whatnot. And I did that. And I met somebody at work who didn't even live in the same town with me.
that's
So
Chicago.
that's how we met. Oh, and he tried to pretend like he didn't know anything about the city, which he grew up in Chicago. I just didn't
Ah,
know.
yes.
Oh God, he thought he was getting over, but
Slick.
I had
I
the
love
last
it.
laugh.
Smooth.
He was very smooth. Not really, but like, yeah. He's more like we in our neighbor. We're both the same. Me and my dad. We're
Oh
not
yeah,
smooth people.
we all a
Are
lot
we
alike.
alike?
Yep.
See, I think I look alike, look alike like him. I look a lot like him, but I think everyone just assumes I look like her. I don't see it. So
I
wait, do
see
I?
it.
We look like both of us.
Surreal sees it.
Saria's in the peanut gallery. She's like, yes, yes, very versus digital. Okay. Can you explain? Oh, that's Cami. Okay. I started on film. So when I first started taking pictures, I stole my mom's camera, and it was wasn't it a Kodak camera?
It was a long one,
It
long
was
skinny one.
it was a long skinny one. It did this film called 110 film, which was like it's like, think of it as a crop sensor. You know how like some digital cameras have like a 3x2 crop sensor? It's not, it's okay, but it's I don't know, it's stupid. So, and you're like, why bother? But then and it came out a ridiculous little cartridge. It was a nightmare. But I had fun with it. So I stole it and I just take pictures of them around the house of my friends doing things, and it just became a thing. But this was also, there was no digital, so there was no there was no alternative. And this is when also like you can go up to Walgreens and get 1 hour photo. So, and then get triplicates of all your photos.
Yeah.
So I always had these, and she took most of the pictures of me and our family anyway. So she always did that. I still shoot film because I want to be poor. I don't know. I like the aesthetic of it. I still use film today. What do you think about film? Do you think you like the digital shots better? Can you tell the difference?
No.
No one can tell the difference. Just plainly, no. No, just no. Just no.
Well, I don't have that kind of eye, I guess.
Yeah,
You
but
know.
do you care? Like, or does it like when I tell you something's been, oh, this was shot on film, is that like
Well, it just kind of depends on, you know, you have that rapport that means something to you.
Mm-hmm.
The film over the digital, it means something.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, because I don't have that eye, you know, or that type of feeling, it's just I can't tell the difference.
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
I like your work in general.
Aww.
It doesn't matter.
I also have more fun with film. I know it's more time consuming with developing and scanning, but the grain and the colors, I mean, nothing beats, you know.
See, I think that's the artist in you.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like digital is a no-brainer, like, you know, you don't have to suffer for it, you know. And with the film, it's almost like you're suffering for your art, and it gives you more satisfaction.
It does.
That's kind of like
I want you to remember that when I asked you money to develop some film for me.
No.
Okay.
No money, no investment from mom on that.
No investment from me. That's all right.
She said
She'll
will
say
give
yes
you her
later
time,
on.
her labor, and assistance, but you're on your own with that film.
I'm everything. The banker. I'm everything.
She's my accountant. My hype person.
Mm-hmm.
I showed Dee earlier. I didn't know if some of the audience members saw, but she helps me design my photographic sets.
Yeah.
So she's got a great eye for that. Right now we have, what was your favorite set that we set up?
I like the lamps.
Okay, can you tell them a little bit about that?
We did a good job. She just went and got, I think Goodwill, a bunch of different lamps, different sizes.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we just kind of like started playing around, you know, with them, and it ended up looking really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, they're all these like crazy 70s and 60s lamps.
Yeah.
Maybe some 80s. Some of them are super heavy.
And they look like antiques. Some of them do.
Whatever. These are from Goodwill. These are from the bins, no less. Like, this is where you like.
Yeah, they still could be antiques.
Well, that's true.
Stuff, you know.
That's true. That's very true. So wait, do we have any other questions from the audience? Maybe
there isn't anything in the chat, but I do have a question for you. Earlier, you actually posted on Instagram one of the set of shots that you had taken. What goes into your selection process when you're working with film, and you have, you know, I don't know the language, but you have all of the negatives. What are you thinking about when you see the one that you want?
So how do I explain that really? I'm in the dark room and I'm trying to figure out if I have, this particular camera that you see is a Hasselblad. So you only have 12 shots. Whereas a normal camera, you would have either 24 or 36. Okay, so we know that. So now I have 12 shots to get a decent picture. And this is in our house and it's low light. So that's why it's like kind of grainy and yellow. Okay, so now we look at it and I'm trying to figure out which one I liked. I think I'm looking at it now and there's a few that I selected. Almost all of these I love just because not the technique of it, but what we're all doing in the shot. And I've actually displayed this all together in a gallery where you can see the different, it almost looks like a film strip. If you can kind of think of it that way, where you're almost like, they become okay, so singly they're a story, but like as a group, they become like a movie. They become like a conversation, like a definite narration of images of words that you can hear us talking about. I don't know. I think on one of them, I'm like on top of my mom. I just like just sandwiched her. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. I was like 23 then, so I don't know what I was doing. But normally, and I didn't do it with this negative, this contact sheet, excuse me, but I would put an X or orange box around them. And those are the ones that I'm going to keep and go back to later. So think of it kind of like, oh yeah, here it is. Think of it kind of like in Lightroom, how you grade your images from 1 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
So the square means 5. And then like a check means yes. And then a check means like, oh, we'll go back to it. Let's just look at this a little bit more in detail. And usually, I don't know why I didn't check mark any of these, but I think it was because someone in my class said that they were underexposed and that was a bad thing. And I was like, oh, well, Chuck. And now I look back at it and I'm like, no, these were actually a lot better than I thought about, because I think I was thinking more conceptually back in college than technically. And I now realize that all of my classmates thought technically. So it was, you know what it is? It's just a little different. But there are other contact sheets where I have X's and I draw a box that like how I'm going to crop and how I'll see how the later image will appear. Wait, how did you edit photos for the photo album?
What, the ones that I did?
Mm-hmm. Like, how did you pick the ones to put? Did you just put all of them in?
Yeah.
No curation at all.
Well, those are all the ones that I really like, close to my heart because it's family.
Mm-hmm.
And I took tons of pictures of you when you were a baby. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Tell the one where we went to grandma's house. What? Grandma Dorothy and Osei was so upset. This is a funny story.
Is it when she passed away?
It was when she passed away, yeah.
When my mother-in-law, my husband's mother, passed away, they lived in a small town in Wisconsin called Neshkora. And we were just in the dining room going through pictures and whatnot. And I think Tiffany was the first girl.
No, I was the second girl, Cecile. Girl.
Well, at the time,
But Cecile was in Sweden.
Yeah, she was in Sweden, so I don't know if she counted or not.
She didn't count.
But anyway, so one of the nephews, he said, they called Tiffany, she must be the golden girl. She said, I live here and there are no pictures of me. And we didn't live there, and they had every other photo was of Tiffany. And that was just, I guess that just represented how excited the family was to have a girl, because everybody had boys, So
oh yeah.
That was really fun. We were looking through a lot of pictures and not one picture of him. Mm-mm. Everything was of Tiffany.
Not one. He even thought it was a picture of him. He saw a picture of me and was like, oh, finally, here's a picture of me. Mm-hmm. And he proudly shows it. And my mom's like, that's Tiffany. It's like, oh, it's
wow.
It was funny.
So we have another question in the chat from Cameron Monty, which says or reads, can you talk about making the group of photos, the choices you made, if you left anything out, etc. And I'm assuming that they are talking about the images on the site. So I can bring these back up.
Right. Oh, these. Okay.
What's that?
This is you.
No, man.
I mean, what's going on?
No, man.
Okay, sorry. Let's see. This series was actually supposed to be a memorial series for my dad. And me just photographing him as much as possible, because I kept having this crazy thought that if I didn't capture him now, he'd be gone, and then I wouldn't have any of these photos to look at him and remember him by. But of course, that's not what it ended up being, because in most of these shots, my mom is the focus.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think, knowing that now keep in mind, I did this series while I was in college, and it was about 20 years ago. So I mean, we lived in North County at the time, and my dad was alive but healthy, not too healthy, but like, oh, okay, well, alive. And then, but he was on oxygen, and this is before he had dialysis, right?
Mhm.
So it was kind of a stressful time in our family. And I think this tells the most complete story of how my mom handled it. So we do a lot of the same, she does a lot of the same things, mannerisms as my dad, as you can tell with this upper middle square. Where this is me looking at them like, I gotta get a picture of this, because they both have their heads, they're both scratching their heads at the same time from different angles while watching television on the floor. And then, of course, the mask, and her with her Pepsi bottle. And this shirt says Sutton Superstars. It's from their business, and I still have those shirts. And they almost fit me again, so I'm really happy about that, because I'll be wearing them. Now, this is the VA hospital, not that. Go back. This is the VA hospital, where my dad mostly was, because he was in the military. And I would get so angry at them, because back then they sucked. Did you like the VA at that time?
I hated them.
So,
But I made peace with it, so I had to learn how to maneuver around it. So after that, it wasn't too bad.
What
because
was
I was with him all the
what
time.
was the most stressful time at the VA?
I don't know. I think he was on oxygen,
Oh yeah.
and they messed up or did brought something in it that wasn't right, and that really pissed me off.
Yeah, we're not good when we're angry. We get the red eyes and the fire breath, like it's a bad situation. But I mean, that's pretty much how I chose them. In a grouping, I think they tell a pretty comprehensive story of my mom's struggle through this last part, of his life and of their marriage. I notice now that I don't include a lot of me, but I'm the one kind of narrating that story. And I've always wanted to tell a story about my family anyway, because I find them fascinating. Especially this last series of photos, where my mom was looking at me, basically asking me, why are you taking a picture of me? And then to, oh, come here, Ralph. And then to, and what's in the news? Because there were no internet, there was no smartphone then, so we were always looking in the news. But I mean, does it tell a comprehensive story? Can you get a story out of it, that from the audience?
Yeah.
Questions to the audience.
Yeah, I would love to hear in the chat, how are you seeing these images? Is, like Tiffany just asked, is it telling a complete story for you? Um, while we, wait for people to respond, I will say that I felt a great sense of connection to these photos, because right now my family is going through a very similar thing, experience with my grandpa. He's on an oxygen machine. He has colon cancer. He has like irregularities with his heart, and he has lung issues. And so, um, for the last few months, my grandparents have been coming here to Memphis to, because he's a vet, so they go to the VA for all of his surgeries and treatments.
Mhm.
And each time is just like that process of the whole family still doing our everyday stuff, but
Mhm.
like reorienting ourselves around like the care and in many ways the end of life experiences with my grandpa. And the ways that you capture this definitely inspired me to want to know more of his story,
Mhm.
to see, to capture more moments of him with like my nephew who's 4 years old, and
Mhm.
make sure that we have those family moments, because as kids my mom was very, my grandparents too, they were very similar to your mom. Like, let's capture everything, and we're not throwing
Mhm.
away the duplicates. We're gonna keep all the duplicates, and we're gonna put these in boxes. And every time family's over, we're gonna like look through these. Some of them are on the wall, some of them are not, but like it's
Mhm.
this treasure of these familial moments. And so I think you captured it very intimately, because you see that vulnerability, you see the very genuine love between their connection, their marriage, and then you see your mom as like this ordinary person. Like, you see her independence, in her spirit, and all the emotions, you know.
Yeah. I mean, what do you feel about that? That was a good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good example.
Do you
Yeah.
feel that adequately explains
Yeah, I think perfectly.
your story and everything? I think my mom's a bit of a badass. She's really calm right now, but this one left home at like 18 and was like, peace out, St. Louis. I'm gonna check out Chicago. And then yeah, I love that story about her. When I found that out, I found that out later in life. And that's what really reformed my opinion and view of these photos, because then I saw how strong my mom was.
Yeah.
So she became less of my mom, this person that had to deal with something, to my mom, this person who was handling something and moving through it with a lot of grace and strength. And so I think of those like that. And now I kind of wish I had more photos of my dad. Like, I wish I told his story a little bit better. But I mean, that's a whole regrouping. Keep in mind, I have books, binders about that thick of negatives of them, and I have 3 of them.
Wow.
So there are a ton of negatives of all of you and daddy all over the place. I'm sure there's a series in there with my dad.
Hmm.
Hopefully.
So I want to go back to the chat, because we have two responses here,
Oh.
of Cameron expressing that they could feel that there's a story, but couldn't have articulated what it was.
Mm.
And Tony chiming in to share that they see that, we were getting a glimpse into the depths of your family dynamics, but having the context of this conversation primes them to appreciate more of the details in the expressions and other
Mhm.
smaller details in the photos.
Yeah, I think that's pretty apt too. Going back to what Cameron said, the story was never supposed to have this beginning, middle, and end. It was supposed to be kind of a series of images um that fit. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Like I guess like fashion, you can have stripes and polka dots, but if they're not the right color, or if they're not like something doesn't match it, it won't be cohesive. So they're not, the fact that they don't really have a narrative that you can, it should be more or less a feeling that you get when you feeling of nostalgia of that time of love. And I know some people say that because most of the photos have a yellowish tint, that there's also this feeling of like sickness involved with it. I find yellow to be more of a warming color for me, but I guess I can see sickness in that too, really. Um, but I feel that way more about the photos. I know a lot of them have either a blue cast or yellow cast, and that depends on the film that I had. That was user error, kind of, not it wasn't an active choice. It wasn't like I'm choosing this. Now I can say I could, but at the time I was just, here was film, use it. So we did something like that. Have you used other cameras?
I think, oh, a Polaroid.
Oh, but do you ever take Polaroids of me?
I think I did.
Hmm.
There goes a hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think I did.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I take Polaroids of her all the time.
So, Tiffany, I I know that in this body of work, the focus becomes on your mother.
Hmm.
But you also have a few other bodies of work where women, people who present as film, people who present as or maybe identify as women are the focal point. Could you talk a
Mhm.
little bit more about how womanhood, how femininity, how identity plays a role in your work at large?
Well, it's actually more of a sisterhood. As I think of it, well, okay, I don't mean to like the way you described it, I'm going to use that for other references, but in my mind, it was more of a sisterhood. I don't have a lot of girlfriends, friends who are girls. I have a ton of guy friends, but I mean, they're guy friends. They're not, I mean, whatever. But like, and I don't have sisters, and I'm not particularly close to my female cousins. So I wanted to surround myself with a lot of women and have that feminine energy. I get along very well with white women. So they became my friends. And you notice in my Instagram, towards like now it's in the past, but towards the bottom as you scroll through, there's a lot of white women with my series Girls with Fruit. So and then that became something where I really enjoyed just working with the female form and everything. Then I took a break and I started working with boys again, and I hated it. So I was like, no, I'm going to go back to females. I didn't like the energy. So I went back to females, and then my good friend Saria in the peanut gallery back there, she initiated this quarantine of Black Girl Soiree. And ever since then, I've been like, no, this is what I miss. This is what I missed in high school and in college. I missed a Black girlfriend. Because I tell you, I never had one. Did I ever have one? It was Dawn, and she was Irish and Vietnamese.
Yeah.
And then there are the kids in grade school, but they all hated me for some reason. I think I'm adorable, but whatever. But I don't know. It's fine. It's in the past. But I mean, like, it was one of those things where it was just, I finally found a group of women that I can hang out with, and we all get along, and we can all talk about like our periods and stuff, and it's not weird or anything. It's like Saria's back here laughing, but it's just like interesting. Do you have other girlfriends, other women you talk to other than family? Because I feel like you only talk to like in Cat and Bernie.
It's mostly family now.
Okay, why?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, that's just who I'm around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there when I was active and me and Rev was active in our business,
Mm-hmm.
I had other women, but since he passed away and my life is just a little bit more narrower than
Mhm.
it used to be, so
Mhm.
now it's just you and my sisters,
Which
which is fine.
it's fine,
Mhm.
but it's my
And I
world.
mean, I have people that I can call, and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So every once in a blue moon, I'll talk to somebody. But
A blue moon. I love her sayings. They're so quaint.
Yes.
That's a saying that she says.
So we have about 15 minutes, and I wanted to welcome anyone who had any questions or other commentary to chime in. Also, with Syria being in the scene, if you have any questions or anything that you wanted to share with everyone, definitely feel welcomed.
Crickets. Well, let's talk, Mom. What do you want to do for your birthday? Let's talk about that for a second.
When is
Where
your
are we going? Are
birthday?
we going to Chicago?
we're supposed to go there in September.
We're going to Chicago in
That is if
September.
the pandemic is not come back again or whatever.
We'll talk about that later. That's a different subject. But you're gonna show me all your old haunts, right? If they still exist.
Oh no, that was low rent. That was low rent stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm past that. Mm-mm.
Oh
Okay.
my. Yeah, what is it about Chicago that, that takes you back?
There's a lot to do in Chicago. It's a little bit more sophisticated to me, than St. Louis, and I think St. Louis, on purpose, has stifled itself, and I think that has more to do with race. It's like they don't want. It seems like they don't want people to have too much fun,
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
here it's just kind of weird. You'd have to you'd have to kind of live in both places, which I have. And I've lived in other states, Colorado, Minnesota,
New York.
upstate New York, which was really very nice because we were close to Toronto. And we would go up, we about 3.5 hour drive, and we'd go up there for lunch. We'd shop. Me and my husband would go up there for lunch and shop and all of that. So I like Chicago. Chicago has just so much to do that you can do. And I think there's a lot of stuff to do in St. Louis too, but they hide it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They hide it. And so, when you I kind of listen to people as they talk, and about what about things that they do, and like a lot of people never even go downtown, when there's a department store to shop or anything. So
we love us up some Dillard's basement back in those 90s.
Oh, yeah.
And she still calls Macy's famous.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
She's like, let's go to Famous. And I'm like, you mean Macy's? She's like, oh,
Yeah.
whatever.
We're at Macy's so much, the people in the store know my Tiffany and I. It's just embarrassing.
Wow.
They don't give us any kind of discount for this either. They're just like, and it's gotten to the point where if she's alone or if I'm alone, they'll ask us,
oh, where's your mother?
Where is she?
Oh, wow.
you shopping on your own today? That's interesting. Okay. It was really, yeah.
Yeah. So this exhibit is called Memories of, well, in the City, Memories of Black Presence. And I'm curious, Miss Vera, with your perception of, St. Louis having a lot of hidden spaces. Two questions, actually. One, what are some of those hidden gems of St. Louis? And what are some of the spaces in Chicago, or types of spaces in Chicago, that you felt really embodied joy and freedom for you as a Black woman?
Oh, I guess you would have to say more or less education.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so much that can teach you, I guess that maybe that's what it is. And even when you kind of like watch the news, it's so narrow, what they're talking about. And it seems like it just does not fit everybody, bring everybody in. At least that's the feeling I get, because I really don't watch local news. I like the evening national news because it gives you a more broader picture of the world and whatnot.
What do you call the CBS morning show?
What is that, CBS? What do I call it? With Gayle King? The CBS show with Gayle King. I call it.
There are 3 people on that show.
I call it her show. CBS This Morning with Gayle King, and I like her. So, but anyway, that's kind of it. Just feels like Chicago is more more out there. They got more presence, and they're growing and they're moving, and you can learn so much. And St. Louis just does not offer that. I kind of think they might would want to, but it's like, we're purposely holding it back so people don't learn too much, and actually I think it's a race thing, to tell you the truth. Since I've come to live in St. Louis again, I think it's a race thing, but that still does not hold, me and Tiffany back, and people we know, and my sisters and whatnot. We're always going places around town. Tiffany and we love to go, to different restaurants. That's really interesting. And we like to shop and just do. So I guess we've become each other's girlfriends, I guess. So
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, fine with me too.
Yeah. I don't mind. I think a lot of people, it's so funny though, because a lot of my friends have a very strange, well, it's strange to me. I guess maybe it's they're not as friendly with their moms, like ever in their life. And it's really like, it's kind of like, really? You don't really? Okay. And it's like, I don't know what to say to that. And I feel really sad because I want to lend out my mom. I
Yeah,
was
I
like,
feel that.
everyone, if your mom sucks, it's okay. Have my mom for a little bit. She'll tell you what's what, make you laugh and make you quiche
Yes.
or banana pudding or like, oh, you need to make me some banana pudding. That remind you.
I'm the
And
same way with my mom. I'm
yeah,
like, you don't have a good relationship with your mom? Come on over. Come on down to Memphis.
yes.
Spend some time with my mom. She will give you all the love and laughter that you are seeking,
Hmm.
because she's just a fun person, a fun human. Talks too much, but she's great. Like
It's the
my
reverse.
mom's a chatty Cathy. We have one more message that was sent as a direct message to me, and it's from Lois Connolly,
Oh,
founder and executive director of the Griot Museum. And we'll close it out with her question, which is, if you would if you would consider a main message for this work, what would that be? What would the main message of this body of work be? And the second part of that is, what is it that you wanted to communicate to communities?
okay. So I guess I wanted to communicate. Oh, wait, hold on. Could you read the first part again?
Yes. If you considered a main message for this work, what would it be?
Love. I know it's sappy. I'm sorry. And that would hold true throughout the whole time of me creating this series, even up until currently the work I make of my mom slash with my mom. I would think
It's a way
see,
of holding on to your father.
yeah, it is because I mean, I'm a visual person. I think that's obvious. But with my photography, I carry like a camera around with me and I have a phone with me, and it's my way to hold on to them. Like she's gonna pass. I mean, let's just face facts. So instead of me just like pining over these memories and them fading, I have voice recordings of her telling crazy stories or just talking. I have voice recordings of you. Did you know that?
No.
It's okay. It's okay. You didn't need to know. And we have voice recordings, and I have all these pictures,
Because I'm not
and
dead.
it's okay. I'm preparing. And I have all of these images of her from her younger years. And I just created this like visual timeline of her. And I miss it. I wish I could have, I wish I thought about doing it for my dad.
Right.
So I don't have a lot of him. And Ralph, my brother is named Ralph also. And I scanned images for him. So now he has a better picture of her father. And while he was doing it, I was thinking of this one. I was like, well, what was my mom doing during this time? Like, there's a picture of dad smoking a cigarette as a police officer. What were you doing?
I think I was living in Chicago. That was before I met him.
Okay, like it was like, but it was just that. It's like completely different lives that are really interesting. I think the message that I want again would be um not love. I think maybe holding on to a remembrance. I think maybe instead of a memorial, you should celebrate the life of someone. I think the best way to do that is
We'll keep them alive.
to I know. Well, what is that a bad thing?
No, it's a good thing.
All right,
But
then why are you saying so softly?
I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness.
That's what you're doing.
But I like doing that.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're gonna take some more pictures later on today.
All right.
Okay.
Nice. Well, oh my gosh, this has been such a lovely conversation. Like I love that you invited your mother to share this experience with you. I don't know if you caught some of the other artist talks, but
Mhm.
there's been this emphasis on motherhood.
Yeah.
In Collins, his mom joined in, and we brought her into the conversation.
Oh wow.
Naira uplifted, her mother. Same with Alana and her family, and it's we. I don't think we talk enough about the importance and value of our parents, our elders, our ancestors, even influencing how we create and what we create. And I think one of the testaments of this exhibition is that it's so blatant, it's so poignant, and it's so beautiful. And so thank you all for putting your heart into this, putting, not being afraid to put vulnerable parts of yourself into this work. It shows, it resonates. And so um just know that there are a lot of folks grateful for you all just showing up as you are as artists.
Oh, what do you think, Mama? What do you want to add to that for a closing?
Oh, there's so much negativity going on in the world, and I think you got to find something or someone that that you can hang on to, that gives you good moments that you can talk to and laugh with, and not necessarily cry with, but just have life with. So that's kind
Yeah.
of like what I think.
And on that.
Yes, yes.
Well, it's
And
been a lot of fun talking with everyone.
yes,
Thank
thank you
you.
so
Thank you,
much.
Sheree, for being our audience member in real life. Thank you for the
Indeed.
questions.
Yes, thank you all so much for joining in. It's been such a joy. The next artist talk is next Friday with Shabazz. And so please, please, please put that on your calendar. Visit thegriotmuseum.com to see all the details for all of the upcoming events. We have two more left. Next week is Shabazz, and then on May 6th, we'll have Cami talk about her works. And so stay tuned. This is, just the beginning, because we want to do even more with the video, the content of all of this. So thank you all for tuning in. Good
All
night.
right.